friends, welcome back, and let's take a look at Tezos. So in the Tezos, in the Bitcoin video, went on for quite a long time, but I do recommend that you watch it if you want to have a friend on your screen for an hour or so. Then I'm your man. I'm doing that today. So you know, I really appreciate all of the encouragement that everybody's given me as I started the channel off. And yeah, I've made a really unusual sort of video today on the Bitcoin front, and I just hope that you find it entertaining. Really, you know, I don't want to be big-headed about it, but if you want to look at that and enjoy it, then go ahead and do that. I recommend it, but you know, who knows, whatever. What are we seeing in terms of this price action? Well, you know, we've come back down here. This is versus Bitcoin. I'll be looking at the dollar pair in just a moment, by the way. But we've come back down here and we're finding ourselves kind of, you know, retesting again this area here where the downward sloping trend line is. The things I don't like about this particular price action, having gone down below the 3066 area, is that it is creating up the opportunity for a valid Fibonacci retracement. And if that did happen, it would take us down to 2970, perhaps 2896, perhaps, or indeed the golden pocket. And if the golden pocket was struck, then that would be us back right in here at the bottom of this sort of where this previous support line was at this descending wedge effort here. So, you know, broadening wedge. So, you know, we don't want to see that happen. If it does happen, I can cope with it. Again, you know, I've said this numerous times in the past, but I would like to see the closes coming up above 2,900. Just so it's like a, you know, so it's not another lower low. If it's a lower low, then, you know, this is an abhorrent higher high. Then that would turn into sort of well, this isn't not divergent, but it is divergent here in the DMI throughout this sort of this peak versus the previous peak, and on the stochastics. So, you know, don't want to see that happening. Instead I want to see the prices turn around here. We're somewhat at the mercy of the Bitcoin prices. If the Bitcoin prices get some volatility, which I predict they will probably in the next 48 hours possibly, then, you know, we might see some changes over here. But let's just go look to the dollar prices, because that's where we're going to get a bit more information at. And yeah, well, we're in this area here. You can see yesterday's line, as I drew in yesterday, has actually been respected by today's price action a little bit too closely. You know, we're right in this area here, kind of asking questions between the areas of, you know, 185 or 190 or 290, sorry, 290 and 297. You know, can we stay above the 290 area and push towards a $3 move, a move past $3? As you can see here, between the highs and the previous highs, really that there's the potential for to be debated about whether or not it's divergent, but we're just going to call it not divergent overall in general on this particular 12-hour or 24-hour time frame, and looking at them and saying that that's okay. But if we go down a little bit, then we can say like more clearly, like this high is divergent to the previous high, and things like that. So, you know, there's a touch of that. That's seen us coming down here so far. We've not put in a lower low though. We're just kind of in a little sort of triangular type shape. And maybe this is just all we need to have happen. And seeing this sort of thing happen at resistance is often fine. You know, just however you want to have this. You know, we've had it in various different ways in the past. This is fine, and of course you can have a measured move off the back of this idea. And and maybe this is building up the head of steam that we need in terms of the steam engines. The head of steam. That's where that phrase comes from. $3.20 so cents. If we were to make a move out of this one, would be your sort of your top end measured move. And of course, breaking that down the way we could see ourselves, and just adjusted that slightly to fit in, but you know, whatever, in terms of where we saw this previous sort of this wick area here, which then we broke through, and then we're retesting in support as we then adopted this upward trend line. You know, we could find ourselves in this area there afterwards, and I wouldn't like to see that, but you know, these things are possible. And for further information, as you can tell, just looking in here, just looking at this here, you can see that very little's happened. Go down the 4-hour time frame, very little's happened. Go down to the 1-hour time frame. You know, we're just kind of spinning around here. You know, like that's all on the go at the minute. So there's a touch of bullish divergence here in the hour time frame. If you're looking at these lows, bullish divergence perhaps between this low here and this low here in the stochastics, this one and this one. Not on the RSI, but you could potentially say that this could potentially turn into hidden bullish divergence, or hidden bearish divergence should we get a continuation towards the downside, given that it's come up a bit higher, and that would be a resetting of the oscillators. But then it's the hourly time frame. It's really low one, and I wouldn't get too carried away about it. We're coming towards the end of this thing. I think in the next 48 hours or so, we'll see some sort of movement on the price action. That's going to really do us for today. If you want to see more detail, then absolutely watch yesterday's video and all the rest of it, because nothing's changed. I really just came down to this timeline to show you that nothing has particularly changed since yesterday. So by all means, watching yesterday's one will only enhance your knowledge for what's happening in the markets today. I've taken the date out of the actual title itself on the videos and instead I'll put it in the description because like, just this exact scenario right now, you can combine these videos together for just more and more detail on top of what we're looking at. Thanks so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. And I'll catch you in the next episode. Thanks again. Yes, absolutely. Thanks again. Hit this video, hit the subscribe button, smash that like button, and share the video with a friend if you've got one that you think would like it. And again, if you want to just have a sort of a friend on the screen, I'm your friend. We're friends now. Thanks very much. On the screen for an hour, chatting with you about stuff, which all to do with trading ultimately. If then go ahead and watch that Bitcoin video. I'm not going to say that it's going to be perfect for everybody. Of course it isn't, but in my opinion, because it's something that I was interested in from my own life, as being educated about this in the past myself, so to speak, being educated. What is it to be educated? I never went to any lectures at uni. Educated. So anyway, because this is something I found interesting in the past, it's something that I introduced into an episode today for Bitcoin, just to be different. So I recommend that you watch it, but whether or not you actually like it or not is kind of entirely up to you. Mostly I would just say that it's me, your friend on camera, for the guts of an hour talking and being your pal. But yeah, thanks so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button, share the video with a friend you got one that you think would like it, and I'll catch you tomorrow for actual technical analysis on Bitcoin, and then, like I did today, technical analysis on Ethereum, Chainlink, and Tezos, and perhaps a bonus video too, depending on how I feel. Catch you later.